Hello.
Today, we're not just learning English words. We're aiming to transform how you actually connect with people.
That's right.
Our mission, really, is to unlock this incredible power that asking questions has, turning, every chat into a chance for real connection and building confidence. We're pulling insights from 50 essential English questions for beginners, but honestly, we're going way deeper than just like the list itself.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because lots of people focus on what to say. But the real deep dive here, the communication part, is understanding why and how you ask.
Yeah.
Questions, they're not just about, grammar rules or getting facts. They're kind of the engine for social dynamics.
Engine, I like that.
Yeah. A well-put, thoughtfully asked question actually makes people want to talk to you more. It opens doors, helps you learn, builds that real rapport. Simple statements, which is, well, I can't always do that.
Absolutely. So our deep dive today, it's not just going to be a list of phrases. Not at all.
No.
We're aiming to give you this toolkit. Practical questions, yes, but also the strategy behind them, the context, the nuance, so you can handle everyday interactions with, ease and confidence.
Confidence is key.
We'll show you how these simple phrases, if you use them mindfully, can really open up whole worlds of conversation for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start right at the very beginning, meeting someone new.
The first encounter.
Exactly. The most basic, most common way to kick things off is, of course, what is your name? It's just fundamental.
Can't get more basic.
And right after that, a really natural follow-up is, where are you from? Now, these seem incredibly simple, but even here at this foundational level, there's a deeper layer, isn't there? How we say it, how we listen.
Oh, absolutely there is. Yeah. Well, what is your name?
Yeah.
Seems, obvious. The real insight isn't just asking. It's showing you're genuinely interested.
Right.
It's the eye contact, offering that smile like our source mentions, which is so important. And then actually listening and, crucially, remembering the name.
Remembering. Yeah, that's the hard part sometimes.
It is. And then the follow-up, where are you from? That becomes an opportunity. It's not just getting a fact like, I'm from Mexico.
Okay.
You're listening for like a hook. Maybe you can then ask, oh, really? Mexico City, I've heard it's amazing. See? That shows you're not just, ticking boxes. You're building a little bridge there.
That's a great way to put it, listening for the hook. It really does shift it from feeling like an interrogation to, well, a conversation.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on. Learning about someone's daily life, their circumstances, two really common ones are, what do you do? And where do you live?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for someone learning English, how can they ask these so it feels natural, not too intrusive? Especially, what do you do? That can feel a bit loaded sometimes, can it?
That's a really crucial point. Yeah. What do you do is super common in, say, the US or UK, usually meaning what's your job?
Right.
But it's smart to be aware, like you said, that in some cultures, asking about work too soon can feel a bit direct, maybe even nosy.
So what's the trick?
Well, the key is sort of reading the room, Observe the flow. If the other person's shared a bit about themselves already, or there's a bit of rapport built up, then it's usually fine. And tone helps a lot. Instead of a blunt, what do you do? Maybe try something softer, like, so what keeps you busy these days? Or maybe, do you work around here?
That feels less direct.
Exactly. It opens the door without demanding entry. And about where do you live? That's generally safer.
Yeah.
But still, remember the advice about how old are you?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just better to wait until you know someone a bit better before getting too personal. It's all about building comfort.
Right, building that comfort level. So if we kind of connect this back to the big picture, it feels like these first questions, they aren't just about grabbing facts.
Not at all.
They're really about building that rapport, showing you're genuinely interested, paving the way for maybe deeper interaction later.
Precisely. It's like a delicate dance, isn't it? Showing curiosity, but also respecting their space.
Yeah, exactly. A dance. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Oh.
Once you've done the introductions, the world kind of opens up, right? And so do the kinds of questions you'll need. Let's shift gears a bit to those practical, situational questions. Things for everyday scenarios.
Okay, practical stuff. Good.
Let's start with finding out about interests and activities, things people enjoy.
Always a good topic.
We often want to know, what makes someone tick. So, what do you like to do in your free time? That's a fantastic one for uncovering hobbies, passions.
Definitely.
And of course, the classic, what is your favorite food? Everyone loves talking about food, but how do these seemingly light questions actually serve maybe a deeper purpose in conversation?
Well, they're incredibly powerful, these light questions, because they invite people to talk about things they genuinely like.
Ah, okay.
Which immediately makes the conversation feel more positive, more engaging. When you ask, what do you like to do in your free time? You're not just getting data. You're looking for common ground.
Common ground, right.
If they say, oh, I like to read books, you don't just stop there. You might follow up, oh, really? What kind of books? Or read anything good lately? It shows you're actually engaged with their passion.
And the food question, same idea.
Pretty much.
Right.
What is your favorite food? If they say pizza, maybe you can share your favorite pizza joint or ask about theirs. It's all about finding those little shared threads that, weave together a richer conversation.
Finding common threads. I like that metaphor. Okay, now let's talk about those really essential questions for just navigating daily life. Time and directions.
The essentials.
What time is it? Seems so simple, but crucial if your phone dies. And how do I get to bus station? When you're somewhere new, that's just vital.
Absolutely.
And then there's the simple all-purpose fallback. Can you help me, please?
That one's golden. What's really key here, I think, is that these questions aren't just functional. They're actually incredibly empowering.
Empowering? How so?
Well, they turn that feeling of uncertainty into clarity. If you're lost or you need to catch a train, asking, how do I get to the station, isn't just about the directions themselves. It's about taking back control, feeling independent again.
Okay, I see that.
And that phrase, can you help me please? It's like your ultimate safety net. It's polite, it's clear, it signals you need assistance right away. Just knowing you can confidently ask these questions, it really cuts down the anxiety when you're, say, navigating a new city or even just trying to figure out your day.
Building on that idea of practical empowerment, let's talk shopping and services.
Consumer skills.
Right. How much does this cost? Probably the king of shopping question.
Definitely a share.
And then, can I try this on for clothes? And for planning, what time do you open? Or what time do you close? Totally indispensable. Beyond just the literal meaning, what's the maybe strategic advantage of mastering these retail interactions?
Well, the strategic advantage is really about confidence and control in those consumer situations. These questions let you make informed choices, right? How much does this cost? Affects your budget directly. Can I try this on?
Yeah.
Helps ensure you'll be happy with the purchase. But it's also about navigating cultural norms.
How so?
Well, in some shops, trying things on is totally expected, and others maybe less so. Asking politely shows you respect the shop's way of doing things. And asking what time do you open close means you don't waste a trip or miss out. It helps you fit more smoothly into the local rhythm of things.
Right, fitting in smoothly. And for getting around town, things like, where's the nearest bus stop? Or how much is a ticket to downtown? Those are just lifesavers.
They're lifesavers.
Our source even mentioned a story about asking a stranger for the bus stop, and they kindly showed the way, which really highlights the human connection aspect.
It does. These are the tools that keep you moving, keep you connecting with the place and the people.
Okay, let's transition now. Moving beyond basic info gathering, let's talk about questions that are really designed for building deeper connections, showing you care, making sure you're both on the same page.
The connection builders. Good stuff.
So when you want to show you care or just genuinely check in, phrases like, are you feeling okay? Or how do you feel today? They're invaluable, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And to really get a conversation flowing, to invite someone else's view, what do you think about this idea? What's maybe the psychological impact of asking these kinds of questions? How do they actually deepen a connection?
These questions are like connection multipliers. That's how I think of them.
Connection multipliers, okay.
Yeah. When you ask, are you feeling okay? You're showing empathy, right? Concern. You're moving beyond just, hi, how are you? To actually acknowledge their well-being.
It feels more personal?
It creates space for maybe a little vulnerability, builds trust. And asking, what do you think about this idea? That's a direct invitation for their perspective. It's not just about getting info. It's about valuing their opinion.
Showing respect for their thoughts.
Exactly. It changes a one-sided thing into more of a collaborative discussion. It builds that mutual respect, that engagement. That's where the real rapport gets built, moving from just polite chat to, genuine human interaction.
I love that phrase, connection multipliers. Okay, now, for avoiding those awkward moments, those misunderstandings, Questions about clarification, confirmation, they're absolutely vital.
Oh, totally.
Things like, do you understand? Or maybe, can you explain that again? Now, a lot of learners might feel shy asking these, right? They might worry they'll sound, unintelligent. How can we reframe that?
That's such a common hurdle, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so important to reframe it completely. Asking, can you explain that again, or is this correct? Is not a sign of weakness. It's not a lack of understanding.
Okay, what is it then?
It's a sign of a strong communicator. It shows you're engaged, you're actually listening, and you're committed to getting it right.
Commitment to accuracy.
Yes. It prevents mistakes down the line, it clarifies expectations, and honestly, it saves time and frustration for everyone involved. Think of it like a tool for precision, making sure everyone's working from the same clear info. It's definitely a strength, not a weakness.
That's a powerful way to look at it. It's about taking ownership of the communication, really.
Precisely.
And finally, in this section, let's look at questions about plans, routines, specific preferences, things like, what are you doing this weekend? Where do you work? Or maybe, do you like watching movies? These can seem like small talk, but what larger role do they play in building up a fuller picture of someone?
Well, these questions are kind of the fabric of everyday conversation, aren't they? And they're essential for building that holistic understanding of a person beyond just the initial facts.
Holistic understanding, okay?
Yeah. What are you doing this weekend? Invites them to talk about their personal time, their passions, maybe creates chances for shared experiences later. Where do you work? Gives context to their professional life. And asking, do you like watching movies? Or other preference questions, what's your favorite color, what kind of music do you like, helps you discover those common interests.
Finding more threads.
Exactly. These aren't just separate questions, they're like pieces of a puzzle. When you put them together, they start to reveal who someone is, making them more relatable, easier to connect with on, different levels.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means you've got the tools now to dive deeper, to really get to know someone, and crucially, to make sure you're both on the same page, avoiding those awkward mix-ups. You're essentially building this rich tapestry of conversation, one thoughtful, insightful question at a time.
Well said.
Okay, let's wrap things up by exploring questions for arranging social stuff, asking for help one last time, and then concluding conversations gracefully. These are all pretty crucial for navigating the sort of ebb and flow of daily life and making sure relationships can actually continue.
The practicalities of maintaining connection.
Exactly. So when you're making plans or maybe looking for advice, questions like, can you recommend a good restaurant? Or are you free tomorrow? They become super useful.
Very handy.
And for extending an invitation, would you like to join us? That's key. How do these types of questions help with not just communication, but also like social integration, building relationships?
These questions are basically the architecture of social connection.
Architecture.
Okay. Can you recommend a good restaurant? Shows you value local insight, you're open to shared experiences, often leads to that first shared meal maybe.
Sure.
Are you free tomorrow? Is the direct way to coordinate schedules.
Yeah.
And would you like to join us? That's the ultimate invitation into a social group. These aren't just about logistics. They're expressing a desire for connection.
A desire for shared time.
Exactly. For building community. They move you from just being an observer to actually being an active participant in someone's life or in a new place.
And looking back at things like shared experiences or offering help, how was the party, or do you need any help? Those are wonderful.
And the ultimate detailed direction question, maybe, can you show me on the map? Often paired with a storytelling prompt like, have you ever been to New York? What's the power in inviting someone to share their past or in accepting or offering help?
Well, if we connect this back to the bigger picture again, these questions are just profoundly human, aren't they?
Yeah, they feel that way.
How's the party? Invites storytelling, sharing emotions. It reinforces that you actually care about their experiences. Do you need any help? Is such a direct expression of kindness, of support. It builds a trust, reciprocity.
In the map question.
Asking, can you show me on the map? Allows for that hands-on collaborative problem solving. Creates a little shared moment right there.
Yeah.
And have you ever been to New York? Opens the door to shared memories, travel stories, personal histories. These questions are the scaffolding for building deeper relationships, showing empathy, making sure communication is clear in all sorts of social situations. They move beyond just swapping info to really fostering genuine understanding. Okay, and finally, those polite closures. We have things like, it was nice talking to you, or have a great day, and maybe let's keep in touch.
Right.
What makes a good conversational exit? And why is it just as important as the opening?
A good exit is so important. It's just as crucial as the opening because it leaves that lasting positive impression and it sets the stage for potentially interacting again.
Leaves a good taste.
Exactly. Phrases like, it was nice talking to you, validate the time you spent together, have a great day, is just a kind, forward-looking wish.
Yeah.
And let's keep in touch. That's a deliberate invitation to continue the relationship, maybe swap emails or numbers.
Right.
These aren't just, empty formalities. They're actually strategic moves to nurture ongoing connections, to make sure that the rapport you've built up doesn't just sort of evaporate.
Yeah.
It has the potential to grow.
Wow, what a journey we've been on. From just figuring out someone's name all the way to making plans and saying goodbye gracefully. You, listening, now have this powerful arsenal of questions right at your fingertips.
A whole toolkit.
We've really covered the gamut, haven't we? Basic intros, deep engagement, practical scenarios, smooth exits, all designed to boost your confidence and your fluency in English.
And please remember the crucial role of practice. It just can't be overstated. As our source wisely points out, the key is to use these questions often. Try them with friends, family, or classmates.
Yeah.
But I'd add, practice mindfully. Don't just repeat them like a robot. Observe the reactions you get. Listen for those conversational hooks we talked about, and be ready to adapt. Knowledge is most valuable when it's understood, applied, and then, refined through actual experience.
Exactly. Practice, but practice smart. So we've explored what to ask, and we've definitely dived deep into the why and the how. But maybe one final thought. What about the layer beyond just the words themselves? Consider this. How can a simple change in your tone of voice, maybe a warm smile or just making genuine eye contact, how can that transform even the most basic question into an invitation for a really memorable conversation? What subtle cues could you pay attention to both in yourself and in the other person to make your next English interaction not just, understandable, but deeply genuinely connecting?